Andrew WK, Rowan from Silver Tiger Media. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. What a thrill to speak with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for your time as well.
Pleasure. Now, it's really you, right? It's not an actor or an imposter, not Dave Grohl.
Oh, no, this is Andrew WK.
It's really you. Well, first of all, congratulations on the new album. Wow, incredible stuff.
That's very generous of you. Thank you.
Pleasure indeed. You're not alone, and of course we'll chat about that a little bit later, but before exploring the most recent of your collections, can I ask you to describe your quest at the behest of the party gods? What's your mission, as it were?
Well, I appreciate you phrasing the question in that way. I enjoy, or almost need, to think about this work as a quest in order to conjure up the energy that I am required to have in order to move through it. The quest, first and foremost, is to try to become worthy of life, of having this chance to exist, and simultaneously celebrate this chance that we have to exist, with the understanding that in celebrating it, we get the very fuel and energy that we need in order to become worthy of it. So it has a nice perpetual and almost paradoxical type of phenomenon.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I very much enjoy the way you put that. I can't help but think of the often coined phrase attributed to Rene Descartes, but I think he meant to say, I party, therefore I am.
Yeah. I think, therefore I exist, therefore I party. It's a trinity.
Oh, beautifully put. And what elements do you think, particularly in early life, what was instrumental in moulding you into the person that you are?
Well, that's a great question. I suppose first and foremost, my parents. I was very fortunate to have their support and encouragement, but also their rigorous discipline and guidance when it came to pushing me in various directions, but also letting me find my own way. It's a delicate balance. I really, the more I've been able to live, the more I'm amazed by how fortunate I was to have those parents. I mean, that's really the beginning and the end of a child's chances in this world. Not to say that you're doomed if you had bad parents. Some people are able to thrive despite that, or almost as a way of finding some kind of vengeance, But I just had great parents that started me on piano lessons at a young age, and gave me the chance to devote my life to partying. And most parents wouldn't let their kid do that, I don't think.
No, absolutely agreed. And what do you see with that in mind as being an end game? I mean, not that we want you to stop or anything like that, but is there a point where you would envisage being able to tuck your microphone into your pants for the last time and rest that the mission has been completed?
That's great. Well, I think if the mission was done, I would remove the microphone from the pants, because keeping it in there indefinitely would be, I would get bed sores, and it would get really, a lot of irritation, inflammation. But that is a really great question, because if you're on a quest, there must be some sense that there is an end goal, a pinnacle, peak you're trying to hit. I think in this case, and perhaps strategically so, I've set that end goal so far away in such a lofty, impossible peak that it can't be attained. But in that way, it's sort of the impossible dream. You're trying to reach the unreachable star, because it is the quest itself where the meaning and value is found. And if I actually got what I was looking for, I don't know what I would do.
Well, indeed, beautifully put too, and obviously people all over the world are reaping the benefits of your work, and I mean that in all sincerity in light of the American Association of Suicidology bestowing on you in February this year the honour of Person of the Year. Seriously, how did that make you feel? How does that make you feel about your work?
Well, I was first just very surprised. I think maybe even a bit confused. I did a double take. I couldn't understand at first how this very scholarly, really medical organization of doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists, these professionals, would want to have anything to do with someone like me, let alone bestow such an honor on me, especially when they're surrounded by so many in their field, all their peers, who are much more worthy, in my opinion, of that type of recognition. But what I really appreciated and came to view the experience as was a recognition of music, a recognition of the power of music, and that in the medical field, with all the advances in, I suppose, medicine itself, but understanding neurology, diving deeper and deeper into the mechanics of the mind and even perhaps the human spirit, they were able to acknowledge the mysterious power of this very beautiful and simple thing called music to be as uplifting, if not more so, than many of the other areas we would turn for treatment. You know, that was really what I loved. I felt like I was receiving or accepting the award on behalf of all musicians and music fans. You know, the phenomenon of music itself deserves as much recognition as anyone can give it.
How beautifully put. And in light of that response, I'm sort of compelled to ask you, if you were in charge, if you were all of a sudden placed in charge of the human race, how would you change things? I mean, particularly since I won't guide you into politics or anything like that, but the human beings often see themselves as being fairly self-destructive. What would you put in place to guarantee the survival at the behest again of the party gods to make sure that we go on as a race?
Well, I suppose as a preemptive answer, I'd have to say the first thing I would do if I was put in charge of the human race for the well-being of everybody would immediately remove myself from being in charge of the human race. And beyond that, I would maybe recommend to some version of that to the world at large. If not in actuality, maybe symbolically, that each of us has to be in charge of the human race. In a sense, that each of us has to be our own president, our own leader, our own, savior to an extent. That what we're looking for outside to fix the problems that we experience are most likely found inside. And if we're trying to locate an external person or policy that's going to suddenly make everything right, we'll be disappointed or even tricked time and time and time again. No one is going to be able to do the hard work of living better or more effectively than we each can ourselves.
Wow. Thank you very much for that, and I appreciate you fielding that question, as I thank you for joining us here in Australia for two shows in August on the 25th and 26th in Melbourne and Sydney, respectively. Wonderful news.
Yes, well, we are ecstatic, my band and I, to have these two shows, because it was looking a little grim as far as Australia and our opportunity to get there. We weren't sure, even after a lot of efforts, that we were going to have the opportunity to play this year. And so when these two shows came about, we were really, really, really thankful and really excited. Because one, it is a long haul to get there, but also if there's no invitation, then it doesn't matter how badly you want to go, you have to be invited. So I'm very thankful to the promoters for setting up these two shows and inviting us.
As I can't encourage enough people to get out to these shows if they possibly can and just witness the power and energy of your show, because doubtless once they've seen you, there'll be demand for you to come back again and again.
Well, that would be wonderful. Any time we've gotten to go to Australia, it felt like a special retreat. A special treat. And maybe, a retreat and a retreat from, maybe other parts of our work. There is, because it's so remote, it takes an extra effort, and there's a mindset or an atmosphere that comes from that, a special dramatic sheen to the whole endeavor, because you really are going the extra mile, literally, to get there. And it adds a beautiful anticipation, So we've been thankful. Each time we've gone, we've sort of wondered, will this be the last chance we ever get to play in Australia? And that certainly adds to the all or nothing energy level we try to give the show.
Oh, absolutely. And with such a vast range or a vast catalogue to draw from, I know that there's going to be fan favourites out there that are going to be requested. So how do you go about selecting a set list for a show like this?
Well, I suppose I'm a traditionalist in that as an audience member, I really like to see bands or musicians perform songs I'm familiar with. And it really is meaningful to me when they spend the majority, if not all of their set on those songs that I can sing along with. Now, I certainly respect and oftentimes admire the contrary nature of some musicians, or those who specifically enjoy playing brand new material. You know, that's a special treat, I suppose, in a way. And maybe that will be the most incredible song. But there's something very powerful that only can happen with a type of shared familiarity where the audience and the performer know a song by heart and they sing it together in that moment. That's the feeling that I am going for and looking for. And that's what we'll do in this concert. I mean, we'll play material off all of the main rock albums I've released. I Get Wet, The Wolf, Close Calls with Brick Walls, and the new album, You're Not Alone. So it'll be a great mix. But I don't want to say we'll not do anything people haven't heard. I think there'll be moments that are new and thrilling, but it will also deliver on that craving, hopefully, that the audience has.
Oh, absolutely. Beautifully put. And, of course, I wanted to ask you briefly, if I could, about the new album. 9 years since 55 Cadillac is a long break indeed. I realise you didn't stop the partying, but was the music that you put onto the new album from that entire 9-year time frame, or was there a particular writing period set aside?
There is both. There is material on You're Not Alone that goes all the way back to 2005, 2006, and then there's material that was written as last minute as possible, or not as possible, but I suppose as almost instantaneous as one could write during the very end of the album making process. So it really does span that full more than 10 years. I mean, going back to 2005, that's 13 years. I certainly did not intend for it to take that long. That was not by design. That was a symptom of extraordinarily hard partying. But hopefully the next album will come out much sooner than that, and we can keep the party going.
Oh, without a doubt, that would be wonderful. And of course, the album cover by Julie Bell and Boris Vallejo. What did you want to convey? I mean, obviously, you pictured alongside another entity, so you're not alone, of course. And I'm presuming that the devil's on your side in that picture.
Yeah, hopefully.
Is that what the serpent represents, the devil, attributed to the song, that one track, or is that coincidental?
Well, it's one way to look at it. The painting came together in a beautifully haphazard way. Boris and Julie are extraordinarily open-minded, as well as being incredibly talented and creative. But they understand and encouraged a type of spontaneity that you wouldn't expect would be possible with a painting style that's so rigorous and formal. So we went through many different ideas, and that final painting emerged almost out of a sort of hypnotic fog. And I never imagined or let alone intended that it would convey any kind of meaning or connect in any way to the material or to a kind of message or anything symbolic. It was so unconscious or subconscious that I'm surprised that it happened at all. Getting to work with them was an incredible privilege, a dream come true, and the painting exceeded all my expectations, not just in its technical prowess, but in the actual layers of feeling that come out of it.
Absolutely. It ties the entire album up beautifully into the perfect bundle. And of course, I thank you again for taking the opportunity to chat with us today. We're looking forward to your visit in August and cannot recommend enough to people they get out and witness the raw energy of your show. What are you looking forward to about performing in Australia?
Well, I just love to play this music live. I love playing with my band. I love being with my band. I love touring. I love doing this work. I love every aspect of it. Even the parts I don't love, I love, if that makes sense. And
it does indeed.
It's been a few years since we've been to Australia, so we want to keep these embers glowing. We don't want the party to fizzle out or die in any corner of the earth. And getting to come back helps us hopefully not only reignite, but inflame that party fire and have it burn even more passionately.
You're building the enthusiasm with every sentence. I cannot thank you enough for your time. Thank the party gods that you're making your way here again. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Travel safely, my friend. We'll see you when you get here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Pleasure indeed. Bye-bye.